Hey everyone, and welcome to On Nuts Reviews in a Nutshell. I'm Michael. Let me kind of preface today. Two movies came out this week in wide release, and that is Resident Evil: The Final Chapter and A Dog's Purpose. I'm not reviewing either of those movies today because, first of all, I haven't seen any of the other Resident Evil movies, and A Dog's Purpose it's not my type of movie. So for me to review it would be very biased, and I just didn't want to do that. So instead, today, we're going to talk about La La Land.
Maybe I'm not good enough.
Yes, you are.
Maybe I'm not. It's like a pipe dream.
This is the dream. It's conflict, and it's compromise, and it's very, very exciting.
La La Land is the newest film from Damien Chazelle, who directed Whiplash, which was an Oscar winner 2 years ago, and this is also Oscar nominated. It stars Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and it's a good movie. This is an interesting movie, and I'll explain throughout this review why it's kind of an interesting film for me personally. Let's start with the good. This movie is a movie fan's movie. If you enjoy movies, if you enjoy the history of movies, if you enjoy the older movies as well as the newer movies, this is a great movie in that sense. It really gets the vibe of what it means to be a part of the entertainment industry. Another thing, Damien Chazelle is a master of the camera. The camera movements and the camera motion in this movie is phenomenal. There are a lot of long takes, there's a lot of quick camera pans and things like that, and it's almost as if the camera is dancing along with the movie, and it's really good, and I really enjoyed that. Along the same lines, the set design and the color palette and just the way the movie looks visually is incredible. It is stunning, and he does a great job in doing that. Also, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, they're great actors. I expect nothing terrible from them. They did a great job. Ryan Gosling really, I think, this might be one of my favorite performances by him. I think he did really well, and I really liked the way he fleshed out his character. Emma Stone, a little rough at the beginning. I didn't really care for her character that much at the beginning. Towards the end, I really enjoyed her character as well. Let's talk about the more negative aspects of the movie. Let me clarify, I'm not a musical guy. I don't like musicals. There are very few live-action musicals I like, and I like animated Disney musicals, but I feel like it fits a little bit better in the animated space. This does not really help that. The musical numbers were good, the spectacle was great, but all in all, I didn't care that much for the musical side of the movie. I think it would have worked just as well with just the jazz playing that Ryan Gosling's character does, and working that into the story a little bit more. For me, musicals are good when the musical numbers propel the story forward. These don't. These exist to call it a musical. Yeah, the music was good. I'd listen to the soundtrack, but I would not, it didn't bring any more enjoyment to the movie from me. In fact, sometimes it detracted, because there were some musical moments that went a little too long for me, dragged a little bit, and they didn't help the story. I thought the story was a little weak at the beginning, and then at the end it closed up pretty nice, and but there were moments where the movie dragged a little bit. Also, the acting was good, but I don't think there was enough for them to work with. The movie is an homage to film. It's a love letter to old school Hollywood. And I think that's great, and especially for somebody like me that's a film fan, I think general audiences won't care. I think most people that go and see this movie that are just your general everyday person, they're not going to enjoy this movie that much. They're going to think, oh, it's neat, it looks pretty, but nothing more than that. Do I recommend this movie? Yes. Kind of. If you're a movie buff, you love movies, and you love the history of movies, you'll enjoy this movie. You may have some of the same issues with it that I have, but all in all, you'll leave the theater going, oh, that was pretty good. If you don't enjoy musicals, you're not going to enjoy this movie probably. And I don't even, as a musical, I don't think this movie's that good. If I was just grading it on being a musical, I don't think it's that good in terms of other musicals. So if you don't like musicals, you may not like this one. I don't think anybody would walk out hating it and thinking it was the worst thing they've ever seen, but I think you're probably not going to enjoy it as much if you're not a movie fan. My Oscar nomination for this movie is definitely Damien Chazelle, the director. It would not have been a good movie had somebody else been at the helm of it, but Damien Chazelle, the way he moves the camera, the way he decorates the set, the way he makes everything in frame look beautiful, what he did with this movie was really well done. Okay, so final score. I feel like I kind of ragged on this movie a little bit more than I meant to, but I just wanted to put that out there for people because I have to be safe because I enjoyed it, but I feel like I enjoyed it because I'm a movie fan, and I love, not even a movie fan, a fan of film history, a fan of how it started and the history of it, and I feel like if I don't express that and you go see it and you don't like it, you'll blame me. And so I don't hate this movie at all. I really enjoyed it. I'm just afraid other people would not feel as strongly about it as I do, especially if they're not fans of film history. My score is gonna be, I'm gonna give it a 7.5, which in terms of La La Land is kind of low, but for me, I'm not a fan of musicals. The odds were stacked against it when I walked into the theater. So I enjoyed it. It's a good movie. You need to see it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. That's my review of La La Land. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and like this video and do all that kind of stuff. And I'll be back next week. See ya.